still kind of considered among the best point guard group, but he's coming for belts. And I think more people will tell you they'd rather have Lillard than Westbrook even. This year, Lillard was better than Westbrook. And this could be one of those kinds of series where we see a really motivated, not that he hasn't ever had problems being motivated, sure. He's insanely good, but this could be the kind of thing where he's like, I don't want to ever hear that Westbrook's better than me anymore.
Well, one thing I took away from this game is that Paul George isn't the Paul George that he was around the All-Star break. He obviously is dealing with the shoulder injury. He said he couldn't even lift it just days prior. How much do you think this will continue to be a storyline with their poor three-point shooting, especially from Paul George? It's going to be a big storyline. The only hesitation on all this is it feels like, look, he was wrapped up immediately. We know he's had these shoulder things that are gone on. Despite the scoring averages staying really nice, there's some other stuff when you'd watch him, you'd be like, it just doesn't look right. But I've also seen a healthy Paul George kind of look like he did in Game 1 and other playoff games. And I'll hold off until we know if it's totally about the shoulder. But, like, this wasn't a Westbrook problem Game 1 at all. Westbrook was really in control for him. If George is going to miss that many shots and that many possessions, this is going to be really tough because then you're going to see the version of Westbrook where he's forcing everything because he doesn't think he can trust him. So that's the real thing that I'm looking at between those two guys. I mean, how hurt do you think he is, Jacoby?
I think he's hurt, but you also remember to make a playoff run, it goes over the course of like 5 weeks, and they get 3 days. I don't even remember when the next game is. I think it's like Wednesday night or something. So you get so much more time off in between games that I think it'll be a decreasing element in this series moving forward. And I'm not going to sit here and do the thing where we have to pick who's going to win the series, but I will say after watching all 8 of them, or at least parts of all 8 of them, this one in my mind is still very much up in the air, and I expect to go long. Now it's time for Soft Move or Boss Move. The Swede Pontus Jansson was celebrating a goal and just gave a little smooch to his teammate. Teammate, angry about it. He's from Macedonia. I guess the cultures are different. But question, Ryan Russillo, is it okay to celebrate with a kiss in the cheek of your teammate?
So we're saying Macedonia is a no here?
I don't know. I'm just trying to give you all the relevant information. I feel like that's important. They're from different cultures. Different cultures treat these things differently. I'll give my answer. It's a soft move to not read the room. You know what I mean? Like, I've got certain friends who I don't hug when I see them. Certain friends that I do hug when I see them. I've got certain friends that I kiss on the cheek, male and female. Certain friends that I don't. I feel like if it's your teammate, you kind of have to know who you're kissing before you kiss them. That's my feeling on that one.
Well, you've never kissed me. So
Not yet.
I don't know. This feels like a really unidentifiable one here. I'm not quite sure. Like, do I say it's a boss move to just do? I'm going to go ahead and say boss move. You just go, because you know what you do? All my friends that, not like I've got a ton of worldwide friends here, but those that are foreign, we just accept it. Whatever they're doing, like, how come you're smoking inside? Be like, I'm from Finland. And you're like, oh, that's right, boss move.
Sure, whatever. Yeah. I'm on board. I say you gotta read the room a little bit more. You gotta read the room. And you definitely, next time I see you, I am gonna kiss you. You have that coming for you to look forward to. Also to look forward to, I never get to do this, but because Jalen Rose is out, we're gonna discuss Game of Thrones after this.
I can't believe it.
That there's a lobster in our hot tub?
Oh, you guys. There's a jet. Oh, I needed this.
No, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on our car insurance with Geico. We could have been doing this a long time ago.
So you guys stay at the hotel?
Yeah, we just got married.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm afraid of commitment. You know, I'm being boiled alive. Oh, shoot.
Believe it. Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
That guy's the worst.
At Ace, your backyard is in our backyard.
Hey, welcome back.
Which makes it easy to take care of the things that always pop up. The grass that won't grow and the weeds that do. The lawn bags you thought you had. The bugs that need spraying and the hose that won't spray at all. You don't need a warehouse store for that. You need a home convenience store. You need Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock. With people who know their stuff.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Staying at Hampton for a work trip. Oh no, your new boss seems cool, but she might not be sweatpants cool. Not quite ready to face the day? That's why we're here with free hot breakfast. Book at Hampton.com for our price match guarantee. Hampton by Hilton.
reverse it. It's your primitive friend yet. It's your primitive friend yet. If you got a big, let me search it.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
Arby's sells more Euros than anywhere else in America. Partly because of this 2 for $6 deal, partly because of our unending passion for Greek flavors. But mostly the deal.
Arby's, we have the meat.
For sandwiches.
Each day, Justin chooses to walk. At work and after work. He does it all with Dr. Scholl's. Only Dr. Scholl's has massaging gel insoles that provide all-day comfort to keep him feeling more energized. Dr. Scholl's, born to move.
Oh, it's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can tell you, but it's like you. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. It's your thing. Do what you want to do.
It doesn't look like your average zero-turn mower. Because it isn't. Step up to the all-new Ultima series from Cub Cadet.
If your underwear feels like this, get buck naked. The most comfortable underwear there is. Only at Duluth stores and DuluthTrading.com.
Buon appetito! If they want to beat the Warriors, if they continue to lose, and if they're firing on all cylinders, anyone can win the whole thing. If
the NBA playoffs continue Friday on ESPN and ABC. First round presented by Mountain Dew.
The exclusive stuff that I have is stuff that you can only see here. A Bill Self self-portrait from the 3rd grade. ESPN Plus also has tons of exclusive games and shows. It's also a lot less than I paid for this.
Jalen and Jacoby is brought to you by Ace, the helpful place. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And Sherwin-Williams. Ask Sherwin-Williams how to bring color to life with the very best paint.
Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Ryan Russillo in for Jalen Rose. And we watched a lot of NBA this weekend, and some of the games didn't go the way I expected them to, especially the top of the Eastern Conference. We start in Philadelphia, where the Sixers didn't just lose to the Nets. They really lost to the Nets. And aside from Jimmy Butler, no one really played well. What did you think about this poor performance in Game 1 from Philadelphia?
We got to figure out what the Embiid situation is, right? Because now it looks like he's hurt. They took him out of the first half early. We know he had this knee thing that's been lingering that he mentioned going back to the All-Star break. But it is weird, Jacoby, because I went through it. March, he was 30, 15, and 3.5 assists and blocks. April 4th, a week ago, he went for 34, 13, 13, and 3 blocks against Milwaukee. So, if he's really hurt that he can't contribute to the team, then what were these numbers? So I still don't know what that is. And I think the other problem is that bad Ben Simmons shows up, and a guy that we thought was heading towards being a top 10 player just a year ago because of the size, the combo, his vision, and all of these things. We're like, man, the best version of this kid's going to be incredible. Where now it feels like there's zero improvement, and he was invisible in Game 1 at home against a plucky, well-coached, okay Nets team. But that Nets team, talent-wise, even without Embiid, shouldn't be beating a Philadelphia team in their play. So this is a lingering, doubtful thing that's been going on with the Sixers now, where you're like, I know all the names, I know what you're supposed to be, I know the best version of you, but I don't really have anything to go off of playoff-wise, and that's why this is kind of the freak-out game of the 8th this weekend.
It is, and you look at Jimmy Butler, who just carried them, and then Tobias Harris didn't have a great game, and Ben Simmons had a bad game, and Embiid was kind of hobbled. Redick, he can be kind of streaky. He didn't play well. I personally am of the opinion that this is sort of like a bad luck coincidental thing, and that the Sixers will kind of continue to win this series, and they will win tonight. How important do you think this game is tonight for the Sixers?
Huge, because this is not a group that's had any collective success. That team should not have lost in 5 games to that banged-up Boston team. Whatever ended up happening where it's like, well, what are you talking about? Look at all their top 5 picks. Look at Jalen. You're like, no, man. They're missing their supposed 2 best players, and the Celtics worked them. And I know it was kind of a late game thing, but that's another common theme for the Sixers. Late game execution offensively, it's not exactly what you want it to be. So if this team goes down 2-0 to Brooklyn, I don't have any evidence of mental toughness because they've never had to get over this kind of hurdle before where I'll go, you know what, I can still trust that group. So this is the most what the hell is going on series that I'm willing to overreact a little bit more about in comparison to the other upset wins we saw from the weekend.
This is, and I don't like to do the whole series prediction thing, but I feel like the winner of tonight's game will be the winner of the series.
By the way, you've said that twice in half the show, and then you went and made a prediction.
I'm trying to convince myself that I don't like doing it, but I kind of secretly like doing it.
Oh, I think you like doing it, yeah.
I do. One thing I don't like doing is this. Talking about the cell phone bench thing. You know what I mean? Like, by now you know, Amir Johnson was looking at something on his phone. Joel Embiid looked at it as well. Now there's this whole story about his sick daughter, and he was checking in on that. He got fined for it. Something or nothing, cell phone gate.
It's something, because something doesn't add up. Yeah, none of this adds up. How do you get fined if it really were, like, what organization and what coach would be like, oh, really? It's a kid? Still fining you. So it is one of those moments. It's a great social media moment because you go, oh my God, everybody's going to get their comment in. You're like, how is this actually happening? Like, this actually doesn't happen. Like Draymond Green's quote about, like, hey, do you use your phone at work? Like, guess what? My job's different than yours. I know that's shocking to you, but it's a little bit different. I mean, I probably shouldn't be looking at it during the show, but I don't think I'll get fined for it. I just think there's something off about this whole thing. But then when the sick daughter storyline came out, everybody just starts deleting all their tweets.
Exactly. Well, the sick daughter storyline is it's like, okay, well then, why are you showing it to Joel Embiid? You know what I mean? Look, I don't want to say that it's not involving his sick daughter, but that would just be a weird thing to show Joel Embiid. And Joel Embiid looks at it quick and feels like he should, and then he looks away. It's in his pocket. It seemed like they kind of were hoping the cameras weren't on them at the time. The whole thing is a little weird to me, but honestly, I don't really care, and I don't think he should be fined. It's kind of like one of those things like, did it affect the game? Did it affect anybody's performance? Does it matter? No.
No, the Nets going small affected the game more than the phone.
Yes, maybe. Another home team in the Eastern Conference lost, but this one was a little different. Like, the Nets beat the Sixers. The Magic kind of stole one from the Raptors at the end. It was a great finish. Everyone that was watching this game was completely locked in. This shot from DJ Augustine, who had a great night, put them up by 3. Kawhi Leonard, they had like 3.5 seconds to do something. I didn't love this kind of like fadeaway Kawhi Leonard thing at the end. What did you think about this performance?
The whole game, you know, you had 2 huge threes by guys like Aaron Gordon and Jonathan Isaac that were big late threes that, you know, we can talk the actual final possessions, but those were huge for Orlando because Toronto was stepping up what they were doing defensively. You know, they were trying to take Vooch out and double him to force him to do something else. So you'd actually want those guys, I believe, taking those shots. And then Kawhi made a great read. He had a couple nice buckets late, but he made a great read to Gasol in the corner. That ball goes. So this whole thing, as I ramble through all this, Jacoby, this is a make or miss kind of game. Great for Orlando that they got it. They've been better against the better teams, ironically. But I'm not worried yet for Toronto. I'm not going to do, same old Toronto with Kawhi Leonard and Siakam being that improved. Lowry was terrible, but we've seen that before, despite the fact that the Toronto media keeps trying to put out something that Lowry's actually been a lot better. I love when that happens. You're like, everybody's beating up on Lowry. You know, he's been a lot better than you think. I've watched the games. He hasn't.
Yeah, Kyle Lowry has not been a lot better than we think. I mean, he had a good season. Like he had a really good season,
he's a great regular season guy.
He has a history of not showing up in playoff games, and it makes. I mean, I'd root for him, but he had a really bad game in this one, and they lost. But I also want to credit Orlando. Like, I'm talking about it like it's fluky that they won the game at the end by a big shot from DJ Augustine. But the fact of the matter is, just to be that close, to stay this close to this team throughout, to give yourself a chance to win, to make a couple of those shots and have somebody else miss a couple shots is a credit to them. They've actually been really good at home, like especially in 2019 since the turn of the year. Do you think they have a chance?
I don't. I really don't. I mean, Kawhi was making some shots there again at the end where you're going, man. I don't want to sit there and say we forgot because you missed some games this year, but they don't have an answer for him. They won't. And DJ Augustine, I get you're mad at the world after the fact, but I mean, what are we supposed to do? Put you top 5 in point guards?
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, DJ Augustine is a solid point guard. He's
awesome game, great bucket, all that stuff.
Yeah, you know, he doesn't turn the ball over a lot, and he makes the right plays. He runs the team. But DJ Augustine is not going to carry you through a playoff series performing like that. Okay, this is something that I've been looking forward to for the last 24 hours. Finally get to talk about Game of Thrones on Jalen Jacoby. Jalen doesn't watch the show. Ryan Russillo does. If you haven't seen the episode yet, spoiler alert, we're about to talk about Game of Thrones. What did you think of episode 1?
A lot of setups, a lot of build-up. We're laying the foundation, okay? No trim work, no fancy doors, no windows. We're nailing the studs in. We're getting the wiring right. We're making sure the foundation's level, and that's really what it was. And then because they knew maybe there'd be a little bit of a knock on just building it all up and setting up the rest of the season, they gave us full-on dragon porn for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, we went on a dragon ride. It did seem like, why did we just do that? And also, I just very quickly want to say this, is Jaime Lannister, just because you went to CVS and got some Just for Men doesn't mean that no one's going to recognize you. You know what I mean? Like, do you think you're going to dye the hair and no one's going to recognize you?
It's been so long since the brand Jaime Lannister deal that I was like, why are they looking at each other? And then the room I was in was like, he pushed him out of a window, dude. And I'm like, oh, they have some thawing to do.
They do.
They're going to have to figure this thing out. But Bran, it is incredible. I had no idea how low his Q rating was.
It's really suffering. Really suffering. But not big on social graces either, Bran. Well, thank you so much for doing that. I never get to talk to Jalen about Game of Thrones. I'm glad you're here on Monday.
Jalen's not a huge sci-fi guy. I knew that. I didn't know it also applied to medieval.
Yeah, not a big. He watches basically the NBA and Power, and every episode of Power like 6 times. That's the kind of person he is. Check this out. Have you seen an Indiana Jones before? You must have seen Indiana Jones.
I've seen Indiana Jones.
What can you tell me about Indiana Jones?
I don't know. He likes to function on dirt terrains, on 4-wheelers. And he likes to wear big 10-gallon hats. And he likes to take 10 steps and draw. And shoots everything in sight.
He doesn't use guns. He carries a whip. But he does function on dirt terrain.
I'm going to start with some balayage clip-ins, then razor cut up to a blunt angled lob. I'm retiring. You're my swan song.
What?
He's going to slap some clips in your hair, give you a bob, and then he's going to move to Boca Raton. But you're going to look amazing.
Okay.
There are multiples on the table. One is cash, 3 are FHA, 1 is VA. So what can you do?
She's saying a whole lot of people want to buy this house. But you got this. It can be as simple as push-button get mortgage. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender.
Think fast. This week, carry out a large 2-topping pizza for just $5.99. Only at Pizza Hut when you order online. That's right, a large pizza for $5.99. Hurry, because this deal ends Monday. Just another reason why no one out-pizzas the Hut.
We don't just make cars. We make technology that moves people. This is the 2019 Nissan Rogue, featuring tech like Pro Pilot Assist. It helps keep you centered in your lane and in control. This is how Nissan Intelligent Mobility is reinventing driving for everyone. Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway.
Flip it and reverse it. It's your primitive plan yet. It's your primitive plan yet. If you got a big, let me search it.
Tonight, you landed enough Wyndham Rewards points to land in that oh-so-alluring place in your screensaver.
See you soon, Hammock.
Jealous! Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you triumph.
Hey, who are you?
Oh, hey, Jeff, I'm a car thief.
What?
I'm here to steal your car because, well, that's my job.
What?
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 It happens. And if you got cut rate car insurance, paying for this could feel like getting robbed twice. So get Allstate. And be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Think fast. This week, carry out a large 2-topping pizza for just $5.99. Only at Pizza Hut when you order online. That's right, a large pizza for $5.99. Hurry, because this deal ends Monday. Just another reason why no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Saturday, Alistair Overeem looks to notch another win against Russia's own Alexei Oleinik. It's a heavyweight showdown with a title shot on the line. The Demolition Man versus the Boa Constrictor. Overeem versus Oleinik, Saturday on ESPN.
Hello, DFW. I'm Corey Bird, and I am excited to tell you about our pre-owned auction event. We must move 200 this weekend or they'll all go to auction. We carry all makes, all models, and 29 down delivers. 29 down and payments of just $129. Plus, we have over 50 cars and trucks under $12,000. Call us now, log on now, do it now at Sports City Toyota. But you better hurry because it all ends Monday night. Sports City Toyota.
There's just something special about Texas weekends. Something that makes us push a little harder, stand a little taller, laugh a little louder. With Jexa Energy, every weekend is a 3-day weekend with more free electricity. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, free. Call 855-GOT-JEXA or visit JexaEnergy.com to switch to the free 3-day weekends plan. More free electricity for every Texas weekend to come. Jexa Energy. This is our power.
Friday night, more playoffs on ESPN and ABC. Basically, just don't make any plans to stay in and watch hoops. That's exactly what I'll be doing. And on ESPN Plus, anytime you can scream detail from the mind of Kobe Bryant. And every single morning, starting at 8 a.m., get up with the Get Up crew. They will be discussing what happened in that pivotal game in Philadelphia between the Sixers and the Nets, and much, much more. Coming to you live from Pier 17 at the South Street Seaport and brought to you by Heineken. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Ryan Russillo in for Jalen Rose. We're going to talk about some NBA basketball. The Spurs won the critical race to stay out of the 8th seed and not play the Warriors in the first round of the NBA playoffs, and it is already paying off. They went into Denver and stole one from the Nuggets. It was a pretty good performance offensively and defensively. Coach Popovich became the most winningest coach of all time. That's a lot of games. So, Ryan Russillo, what did the Spurs do to beat the Nuggets?
First off, shout out to Pop. He deserves to have that. You know what I mean? Like, no doubt. I mean, the consistencies through this whole thing, that's nuts. Here's the thing. I don't think I was a huge Spurs guy before this series started because I look at that road record and I go, man, they really had some nice wins at the end of the regular season, but throughout the year, like, did I really think they could knock off a 2 seed? But then I'm always a little off on Denver. Not meaning I'm off and like I don't like him, but I just go, after Jokic, is there somebody that I really trust? And that was the storyline from game one. Jamal Murray was bad at the end of the game. And Derek White got him there, coming across half court, trying to keep him in this thing. So am I shocked that Denver lost at home to San Antonio? A little bit, but I don't know that I'm that in love with Denver. So that's, you hope that Murray grows up in the series and doesn't grow up after an early exit in the offseason.
Exactly. Sometimes with these teams like the Nuggets, they kind of need to get to the playoffs and fail, get that experience, and then sort of be successful, which is what I fear is going to happen with this particular team. And Jokic, while we all talked about him being an MVP candidate, he kind of has off nights once in a while. Like, he had that game against Boogie that didn't really seem right. And, like, he sometimes fluctuates. He's not as reliable as you would think. But he did have a ton of assists in this game. Now, you mentioned Derek White, and we know that we're going to show the Derek White dunk. It was the dunk of the weekend by far. He just sizes him up and dunks all over Millsap. What do you think about this dunk?
This dude's story is incredible. You know, whenever I go to the Combine, which will be going again in Chicago this year for the NBA draft, people are like, oh, that's a total waste of time. Like, it is not. There's stuff that happens there that's not the best, but there are players where you go, wait a minute, is there something here? It happened with Kuzma. It happened with TJ McConnell. Derek White's one of those guys. And I didn't really know what to make of him because he felt like this multi-positional, non-positional guy. Is he this good athlete? And then as soon as the Spurs take him, I go, oh, okay, he's going to be good. It's all going to work out, and it'll be fine. And he's somebody, with the way he approaches the game, that Pop already trusts. He trusts him to get them buckets and get into possessions late in a playoff game. So I love his story, and I got to go back and watch more Colorado stuff.
Well, the Rockets handled the Jazz pretty easily last night late. And they did something I wanted to point out. Now, we've seen a lot of junk defenses be thrown at James Harden. This one was a little funky. They took away his step back, I guess, but they just allowed him to get to the paint. And I guess they assumed that Rudy Gobert would just be able to clean up all the problems, and that was certainly not the case. What did you think about the latest junk defense that was thrown at James Harden?
Well, this is the same junk defense, though. It's overplay that left hand. Milwaukee did it, I think, the first time, and it was just, I'm not going to shade you. I am going to stand basically parallel to you.
Yes.
And the problem with it is if everybody else isn't locked in, like Harden's going to go, okay, fine, you're taking away my step back to my left and getting out of my left hand, but you're also cutting down on my passing angles with my left hand because you're just staying on that side. But that means every other person has to play it a little differently because you're giving him a free run. And when you do it in consecutive playoff games against the same opponent, Harden's only going to get better with it. So I actually don't like this, even if it's this way of trying to figure out any way of keeping him from getting to that left side. I mean, he didn't even take any free throws last night, Jacoby, and he was really good. So
they barely took any free throws as a team. And when I first saw this, I was like, oh, okay. What they're doing is just having Gobert be the defensive player of the year. This is going to be a Gobert-based thing, and Gobert is going to, block shots and get those long arms in the passing lanes. But it's James Harden, man. Like, if he's got 2 steps before he even gets to you to size you up and make a read, it's not going to work. Like, I would rather just hope he misses threes than to have him do that, because it just kind of felt like once he got past his defender, he was either going to score himself or give somebody an open three, and it just clearly didn't work.
The other problem, too, for Gobert when Capella's in is he's caught in between. So he's playing, he's one kind of playing two, and Harden's just that good. I mean, Harden has always been, we didn't think he was going to be this, but he's always been a really good passer. And I'm not just talking about like nice, crisp, fun passes. His vision coming out of Arizona State, like that was a special part of his game. And he knows. As soon as you show any inkling to go towards him, he's thrown it over your head to Capella. So that's just a really hard spot. And then to say you get a full head of steam and just go ahead and do this. So I'd be curious if Utah stays this way the whole time. The Rockets had 99 points with 7 minutes left to go in the game of Game 1.
Wow. Yeah, they didn't seem to be getting stopped in any way, shape, or form. He did shoot 3 free throws. Being factually accurate is extremely important here at Jalen and Jacoby. I just want you to know that. So we just want to make the record clear. He shot 3 free throws.
Research department. Thank you.
You know what? All I really care about is the Rockets-Warriors second-round series. That's all I really care about when it comes to those 2 series. Of course, we had a weird one in Boston. The Celtics-Pacers game wasn't exactly a barn burner. It was odd. The first half, the Pacers were up, and the Celtics just kind of seemed a little slow. And then in the third quarter, the Pacers scored 2 field goals, one of which was on a goaltend, and the Celtics ended up coasting pretty easily. What did you think of this game?
Weird, because the first half, the Celtics, it looked like, hey, you guys know it's the playoffs, right? It's Game 1. Like, I know it's a day game. An earlier tip here. Maybe some of you guys still wish you were watching Tiger. But the playoffs have started. And the Pacers played like they knew it. And then the second half happened. Celtics defense was great. The starters for the Pacers couldn't get anything offensively in the second half. I'm going to go ahead and go non-box score. I'm going to go eye test at you. I want to know what you think.
Ooh.
In a continuation of the last couple of weeks, liked the aggressiveness that I saw from Gordon Hayward. I liked his movement. I liked rebounds and going, and Hayward leaving it up to himself to make the decision instead of just giving the ball to somebody else and not knowing where to stand.
Yeah, I've been getting texts from Bill Simmons about this a lot. A lot of like Gordon Hayward is back, like momentum, kind of like wishful thinking, reverse jinxing stuff. It's
what about all the
mind game.
Do you still have all the Simmons Yabusele texts?
No, I don't get those. But there was
different thread.
Something happened in the game that I really enjoyed, and it was Larry Legend. I used to pray to a Larry Bird poster before 5th grade basketball games, and he got this standing ovation from the crowd, and it was a nice moment. The game was tied, you can see there, but he was outdone by the standing ovation for Robert Kraft. Of course they just won the Super Bowl, but do you think the public doesn't care about the whole,
think
Florida thing?
Do I think? How quick can I answer this? Of course they don't care. I was trying to think of a list of things that Kraft could do where they'd be like, all right, I'm just going to clap but not stand. And I don't want to go over and do that list right now. Side note, can we get an 11-year-old Jacoby Larry Bird prayer? Can we get just a piece of it? What was it?
Yeah. I would just look at it, had the legend poster where he's just like holding the basketball. It's not an action shot.
What'd you say?
I'd just be like, Larry, we're about to play Northampton. They're a rival of ours. Just be with me. Be with me, Larry. And then I would leave and score like 4 points. Coming up next on Jalen and Jacoby. The number 1 seeds, guess what? They look just like number 1 seeds. We'll break it down after this.
They didn't think they'd get this far. Or meet them. Or him. Or realize just how fun a road trip could be. They discovered a new favorite food, a new favorite view, and made some new favorite memories. Book your flights, hotel, and car on Expedia, and travel like a champion. Expedia.
Your living room is pretty great. It has your couch, your TV, your goldfish, your phone, and now your number 13. Get Jersey Mike's delivered straight to you with Uber Eats. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
And Doug.
What do all these people have in common, Limo? Exactly. Nothing. They're completely different people. That's why they need customized car insurance from Liberty Mutual. They'll only pay for what they need. Yes, and they could save a ton. You've done it again, Limu. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Air presents Outdone Yourself. Staining be done and stay done through every season.
Done. Done. Done, 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 done.
Bare semi-transparent stain. Overall, #1 rated. Stay done for years to come. Find it exclusively at the Home Depot.
Done.
Buon appetito!
Please, sir, can I have some less?
I don't want much. I just want a little bit. No, I don't.
Less sugar Greek yogurt from Chobani.
There's a reason we recommend you order your sub with the juice. It's good. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Hi, Mom. I got your message. Things are going so great since we left the city life. Our house is adorable. I saw my first real-life farm animal yesterday.
I'm from New York. I don't want any trouble.
Oh, my God, it's attacking me. Oh, and you would not believe how friendly the neighbors are.
Hello.
I can't wait for you to come visit.
Bless this mess. Series premiere Tuesday.
Introducing TXU Energy's newest plan, Free Pass. Get free electricity whichever 7 days you use the most. Every month, automatically. It's great for days like this.
So, Bobby says he wants to ask this girl to the prom. I said, okay, go for it. He says, but Dad, you don't just ask, you propose. Okay, let's see what we can do. Oh, she says yes. What? What?
Free Pass, only from TXU Energy.
There's just something special about Texas weekends. Something that makes us push a little harder, stand a little taller, laugh a little louder. With JEXA Energy, every weekend is a 3-day weekend with more free electricity. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, free. Call 855-GOT-JEXA or visit JEXAenergy.com to switch to the free 3-day weekends plan. More free electricity for every Texas weekend to come. JEXA Energy. This is our power.
Welcome back to Jalen Jacoby. Ryan Russillo in for Jalen Rose. Both number 1 seeds in their respective conferences looked like number 1 seeds. We start with the Bucks, who made real light work of the Pistons. The Pistons obviously without Blake Griffin. But I want to show you this play at the end of the game. A little frustrated Andre Drummond just goes with a little shove, and then he comes over and extends the hand. Do you think Drummond should be ejected for this?
I'm still a little more old school on some of this stuff where I don't love all the ejections that we see. I don't love the flagrants because the flagrants, a lot of times, Jacoby, it feels like more about how the player lands than the actual contact. But this was pretty blatant, and especially when it's like you're getting worked, you're down 40. Blake's hurt. So I didn't love it, especially because I don't want anything to happen to Giannis because I want to see what happens with this guy in the playoffs.
Absolutely. I think he probably should have been ejected. I mean, it's one thing if you're going for the ball and you come down on someone's head, and you at least sort of kind of make it seem like you're trying to do some sort of basketball something. But one thing I do love about this is the immediate come over to try to help the guy off the ground. This is a trick that basketball players have learned now. Like, you can foul somebody in the most malicious way possible, but if you turn around with a mean face on, you're gonna get kicked out. But it's like, wait, my bad. Here, let me help you up.
And what's great is everything you just said, the ref knew that that's exactly what he was doing because the ref's like, no. I just saw you chuck him.
Yes.
Don't go help him up now.
Don't help him up. That was not an accident. And like you, I don't want anything to happen to Giannis because Giannis has had such an amazing year, will likely be the MVP. And there's this. Just watch what he does on this play. Like, I've been watching the dunk contest my entire life. This is in live action. That's essentially where Michael Jordan took off from. We all know that Michael Jordan didn't take off from the foul line. In a game, he dunked from 13-point-something feet away. What do you think of that?
Not enough has been made about this because it wasn't that it was just in a game. It's that the play itself was still somewhat in doubt. Like, there's not a great contest, but there's still an attempt at a contest, which I actually love because we don't see it as much. Somebody who just run in and try to get a charge. This is insane, okay? And he still is this good, even though I like the way his form has looked from the outside shot, to be him in 2019 and still not really be able to be a guy that can shoot or no one respect him defensively and just leave and sag off of him, and he still puts up these numbers. It's unbelievable. Like, he really feels like, Durant was going to inherit that throne from LeBron. It feels like in a way like Durant's going to get skipped over because of Giannis.
I kind of like that. And one thing I do like is when you watch Paul George do a 360, it's kind of like off like he steals a wing pass. There's no one even running back to get after him, and he just kind of like has a practice dunk. But this was kind of like a real play. Like, it seemed like he dunked from that far away, not for show, but for function, because he knew that no one else could jump from there and still make it to the rim. It was really impressive, and I don't think we will have a very interesting series in this one. Congratulations to the Pistons for making the playoffs. Maybe you can get a win. At least you will have 2 home playoff games in downtown Detroit. The other number 1 seed, the Warriors, if you remember on Saturday, they waxed the Clippers. It wasn't really that competitive. They, again, looked like the playoff Warriors. Steph Curry went off. But I wanted to talk to you about this exchange, which seems to be the only takeaway from the game. Pat Beverly doing Pat Beverly things, getting under people's skin, and him and KD were kind of going back and forth all night, and eventually they would both be ejected. Now, Pat Beverly's going to try to do this. What do you think about the way KD reacted to it all night long and eventually got ejected?
I've heard a lot of people just say, KD can't do that, right? You can't let Patrick Beverly get in your head. My guess would be Durant, this isn't an issue the rest of the series. I think the game was totally solved at this point. The game was over, and that was him kind of letting Beverly know, like, you think you got to me, but like, you're Patrick Beverly. And I respect that Beverly has to do this. This is the way he's made his NBA career. There are times I don't love it, but I try not to knock it too much because he cares, right? He's a fighter. We want guys that are competitive. But a lot of people are knocking Durant after this one. I'm just not there yet. If it happens again, and it's this instance where it's like in the balance and he could be tossed again, then that's a real problem. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt after game 1.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with you, especially with it's not like what you do, it's how you do it. It didn't seem like Durant was angry.
No.
Like Durant was going
Not
after
at
him
all.
to try
He's
to fight
laughing
him. It seemed like he was smiling about the whole thing and being like, hey, ref, look at this dude. Like, do you see what this guy's even doing? Like, it seemed like he had kind of like a smile on his face and a good attitude about the whole thing. It wasn't like he lost control and Kevin Durant's now got a problem with the referees. I think this is more like the ref felt like he had to kick them both out just because they were what was building throughout the entire game. He didn't want it to boil over. But I don't think this is like an emotional control problem for Kevin Durant. I think it's just basically Pat Beverly understanding where Kevin Durant is offensively, where he is defensively, and doing everything he has to do to get through the game.
Are you more Beverly or Durant in pickup games? Because I know you just played this weekend.
I'm much more like Rebecca Lobo, you know, maybe on a good day, maybe a Jokic. I don't really play defense, and I can't do anything like Durant does. So
that's going to be the strangest.
Comparing me to either of those.
Is Lobo your floor or your ceiling?
No, Lobo's my ceiling. You know, I said like Brad Lohaus is my floor. You know, if you want to go there. I have some very important.
I've never heard a more random 3-person comp for your game or anyone's game than that.
Well, it'll make sense when we play. But right now,
I'm a slower Cheryl Swoops.
We have something more important about the future of humanity to discuss than my pickup game. Are you ready?
I am.
There are scientists in China. What they have done is they have taken genomes from the human brain and they have put them inside monkeys' brains. And they've done studies on these monkeys and they have learned that the monkeys are getting smarter in cognitive tests. Some people say this is unethical. I ask you, are you okay with scientists putting human genes inside monkey brains to make them smarter?
I'm not decided yet. I would call myself undecided. I need to ask the scientists. No. Look, I'm sorry.
I just want to say I really appreciate the seriousness with which you're taking this. You're like, I need more information. I haven't traveled over there. I haven't seen the monkeys. Jury's still out as far as Ryan Russillo is concerned.
I need an hour with the scientists, and I would simply ask them this. What's the point of the smarter monkeys?
That's exactly my point.
If they're convincing, like, hey, smarter monkeys mean this, this, and this, I go, okay. I'm not just going to read the headline. I'm going to click on the article here, Jacoby. I'm going to read the whole thing, start to finish. I may even put it in reader mode.
Sometimes I say this to myself. I say, what if you get what you're looking for? Right? Like, okay, guys, you want to see if this works? What if it works? What if it really works? Now you've got a bunch of smarter monkeys running around the lab. Is that good? Is that good? Is that really what you want? We've seen this movie many times. Its name's Caesar. He comes and takes over the world.
Right. I mean, we saw Matthew Broderick was reading this story freaking out right now.
Oh, the Matthew Broderick Project X movie?
Got it. Jacoby got it.
Here's the thing is, I hate that movie because I love the other Project X movie. And every time I see on the guide function that Project X is on, I get so excited, expecting to see like a high school party, and I end up seeing Matthew Broderick in a lab coat. Oh, that bothers me so much. We've got huge news about why Magic Johnson actually left the Lakers. We'll tell you after this.
Jalen and Jacoby is brought to you by Land Rover, above and beyond. Napoleon Grills, upgrade your grilling game. And Sonic Nights, new $1.49 ice cream cookie sandwiches and half-price shakes after 8 p.m.
I knew this was going to be tough. And Dos Equis is known for its refreshing taste and perfect balance of flavor and refreshment.
It's okay, Daddy.
I'm sorry. I love Dos Equis so much.
Make weddings unforgettable with Dos Equis. Keep it interesante.
At Ace, your backyard is in our backyard.
Hey, welcome back.
Which makes it easy to take care of the things that always pop up. The grass that won't grow and the weeds that do. The lawn bags you thought you had. The bugs that need spraying and the hose that won't spray at all. You don't need a warehouse store for that. You need a home convenience store. You need Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know their stuff.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
Sonic's new BBLTs are great.
Yeah, the BB stands for Bacon Bacon.
And the LT stands for look at those tomatoes.
Well,
don't miss out on Sonic's new $3.99 Bacon Bacon Lettuce and Tomato Sandwich with Tots.
The new Range Rover Evoque with clear sight rear view mirror.
Wing time! 5, 4, 3, 2, I let one go.
He's the pound-for-pound king. What a shot! This fight is over! Amir Khan, he's coming straight at him.
This young man is dangerous.
This thing's gonna end in no time.
Where the suns go?
The world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden.
The World Welterweight Championship, Crawford versus Khan. Saturday at 9, live on pay-per-view.
Outsmarting a nasty Nessie with Duluth Flex Dry on the Fly pants. Step 1, locate the legend. Step 2, flex 'em. And unwet 'em. Duluth Flex Dry on the Fly pants. Make your legs legendary. Only at Duluth stores and DuluthTrading.com.
When you book at Hilton.com, you get the price match guarantee. So if you find your room at a lower rate, Hilton is like, we're gonna match that rate and give you an extra 25% off.
What would travel sites do if you found a different price?
That's not my problem, it's your problem. Book at Hilton.com and get the Hilton price match guarantee.
Flip it and reverse it. It's your primitive and fine yet. It's your primitive and fine yet. If you got a big, let me search it.
Each day, Justin chooses to walk. At work and after work. He does it all with Dr. Scholl's. Only Dr. Scholl's has massaging gel insoles that provide all-day comfort to keep him feeling more energized. Dr. Scholl's, born to move.
It doesn't look like your average zero-turn mower. Because it isn't. Step up to the all-new Ultima series from Cub Cadet.
Subscribe, rate, review, listen to The Russillo Show on ESPN or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And then when you're done with that, make sure you subscribe, rate, review, and listen to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. Exclusive content in every show of Jalen and Jacoby. Welcome back to the television show, Jalen and Jacoby. Ryan Russillo in for Jalen Rose today. Thanks so much for doing the show. With all the action over the weekend in the NBA, this story went a little under the radar. Our colleague, Bill Plaschke, wrote this about the Los Angeles Lakers. Quote, first, we now know exactly why Magic Johnson quit earlier this week. It wasn't because he only wanted Walton fired, because that was going to happen. It was because he also wanted Pelinka fired. And, sorry folks, it's now obvious that isn't happening. Now, Ryan, when I knew that Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka would be the team that would lead the front office of the Lakers, I figured this is kind of perfect. He's an agent. He understands all of the complexities of an NBA contract and the salary cap and all of that. You've got a figurehead, a legend. This seems like a pair that should really work. What do you think of this news that Magic wanted to fire Pelinka as well?
This really speaks to, I think, Pelinka's struggles with other agents that had clients that they really wanted that didn't want to deal with them. Okay, everybody knows that that's out there in NBA circles. But you would have to think that Magic and Pelinka would have been on the same page at the beginning of this. Like, did they hire everyone and go, yeah, I don't really want to work with him and I don't want to work with that guy. All right, done deal. Let's get it done. Magic was supposed to be the closer. He was the big face that would get the meeting with any player in the league when the Lakers had problems getting players coming in during free agent visits. So I understand why the Lakers did the Magic part of it, the figurehead, Laker culture, LA, all those things. He'll be our closer and Pelinka will be the grinder. But was Pelinka somebody that got in the way of other deals because of his relationships with other agents? Look, plenty of agents can't stand other agents. So this is specific to Pelinka. But I just wonder if there's so much of this stuff that gets back to Jeannie Buss, where somebody's saying, hey, you should do this, and you should hire Magic. And then Kobe's saying, you should hire my guy Pelinka. And then you should do all these different things. Like this thing, I tell all my friends back on the East Coast, I knew the Lakers were a soap opera. I never knew to what extent until I lived out here.
Is that something that you think has been going on for years, or just this new era, this kind of like Jeannie Buss, Magic, LeBron focus that brings that on?
Oh, I definitely think it's the same thing for years, because it has been. It's just different. They're just moving the pieces around. I mean, Jim Buss got destroyed by everybody in the media because Kobe was telling everybody in the media, Jim Buss is terrible. That doesn't seem to happen with Jeannie. So when I think about all these moving parts and Magic wanting out, oh, by the way, can we get a Kobe detail on Magic's tweets? Is there any way you can have that happen?
I will write an email.
Okay.
I'll write a very long email asking for that.
What else? I mean, how do you see this thing from where you're at?
Well, for me, just from a surface level, it just seemed kind of perfect for me. You've got LeBron James, and then you've got Magic Johnson, and you've got the purple and gold, and you've got this young core. It's like, what could possibly go wrong? And you've got Pelinka, who sort of understands he can do the sort of like salary cap juggling that you need to do to be an organization in 2019. And then when you start to see what's really happening, and I remember years ago when I think it was Ramona wrote that piece about Jeannie Buss and how she took control over the Lakers and pushed out the other brothers. I was like, well, this is kind of messy. Like this is kind of cutthroat over there, and not as clean as you think it is on top.
The names have changed over here, but it's still the same result. No playoffs. So I always think it's important to remind everybody when we're talking Lakers, at least for this season, they had an insane amount of injuries. And I'm not saying 4 seed, but this team with LeBron and everybody healthy, they probably make the playoffs. But we're going to find out. We're going to find out what the real LeBron LA story, experience, chapters, however you want to frame it, what that's going to be like during this summer. Because they can't go 0 to pair somebody else with LeBron in back-to-back summers.
This someone is coming. And it could be as big as Anthony Davis. It could also be, Tobias Harris. Like it could fall somewhere in between there, Chris Middleton or something. But something's going to change next year for the Lakers. Ryan Russillo, thank you so much for joining us. You can check out his podcast on ESPN and also on The Ringer. We'll be back tomorrow.
Welcome to The Jump, presented by Michelin Wiper Blades.
Oh, that was beautiful. Shouts to producer Bobber. I love it. Welcome to The Jump. Everyone's got hungry eyes for the NBA championship trophy. Little Larry O'Brien action. Everyone wants to. Everyone lusts after Larry.
I had a date with her. One day.
One's enough. I'm Rachel Nichols alongside New York Times best-selling author and host of the Hoop Collective podcast, Brian Windhorst. And, of course, as he mentioned, champion and Finals MVP, Paul Pierce. Thank you for being here. We missed you, Paul. Coming up, I sat down with Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum in Portland over the weekend. Stick around to hear the